Hi friends, and welcome to another video. I want to start off by saying I am not a runner, and every video I saw on YouTube about Apple Watch is talking about how you can run wherever you are running, and this is one of the reasons why I never considered getting Apple Watch, because I do not run, so what's the point? But the time has come. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I caved in and I actually did get an Apple Watch because I am using Apple products since 2006. I think my first iPhone was 3GS. I got a MacBook soon after that. I got the first iPad. I got iPod, of course, because of the music, and it just kind of escalated everything. So since I consider myself a sort of an Apple hoarder, it kind of didn't really make sense why I didn't want to get watch. But like I explained, because most of the ads, most of the people talking about it are talking about how it's useful for runners, and I'm not one, so what was the point? And then I was kind of like, okay, I think I can now see a point how I can actually use Apple Watch and not just have it as a quite expensive accessory. So my watch is SE second edition. This is from this year and it's 44, the number. It's not the smaller one, it's actually the bigger one. And the color I chose was Starlight. These are the straps that came originally with it, and if you can see from the side, because this is actually rose gold, you can see the difference. This is more like a pearly gold color, but it goes together well, so I'm fine mixing and matching different straps. So I was considering getting a smaller size first, but then I realized that even though it looks quite dainty when you have it like this in your fingers, but when you put it on your arm it's still bulky, so you know it was a better choice to actually get a bigger screen. So that's my first point, get a bigger screen for sure. Second part, I didn't get cellular because why would I mean, I'm not replying to messages from my watch. You can still send emojis, so if it's like something urgent and you don't have your phone close by, you can still send an emoji even if you don't have a cellular version. And with calls, it's like, you know, on speakers, so first of all it's not very clear sound, second of all everybody can hear what you're talking about. So for me, again, because I'm not hiking and running in God knows where, that doesn't make any sense. Battery wise, it will last me about 2 days. I do charge it when it goes down to like 30%. I don't wait that it goes all the way down because I'm using it for other reasons, for fit reasons as well. I'll explain this in another chapter. So for me it doesn't make sense to completely empty it, but I would say that with this watch you can 2 days, no problem. What lifestyle changes actually did occur since I got this watch? So I have it now for 1 month, and one thing I notice is because during the day when I'm at work I move a lot. I walk up and down different flights of stairs, I film outside, so there's no question that I move enough. But when I got home I would go and play with my dogs for like half an hour or hour, and then, you know, I would just crash on the couch and not move that much for the next 3 hours or 4, depending what time I will get home, because sometimes I don't get home before 8 p.m. But never mind, when I get back home I'm not very active anymore, apart from when I'm playing with dogs, but that's like we are playing, you know, fetch, or we go for a walk sometimes, but mostly my husband goes with them. So again, I'm not moving enough, and that's one of the reasons I noticed the watch improved my movement a lot, because I have all 3 rings, so the watch reminds me to stand 1 minute on every hour, and it reminds me that I still need to do my exercises or do my steps if I haven't done enough yet that specific day. That brings me to my next change. As you probably know by now, I'm working night shifts on radio sometimes as well, and it did happen twice that it was like 5 minutes to midnight and I was already 2 hours into my night shift, and I realized that I still have like 3 minutes of exercise missing. So I would go up on the roof of my radio station, we have like a speaker there, I would put music louder and I would dance for like 3 minutes to kind of, you know, close my ring with like 1 minute to midnight, and I felt so satisfied when I closed those rings. And you know, one time one of my co-workers saw me and he was like, it's midnight and you're dancing like an idiot on the roof, what's happening? I think he was afraid for a bit that, you know, something has gone off in my head. I was so close to closing my rings that I didn't want to let go. It was only 3 minutes, so I was just, you know, dance away. And without the watch that for sure will not happen. I would not dance in the middle of the night for no apparent reason, but for this it actually worked. Fun part with watch is because because even though all of those things can be monitored, of course, on your phone, but when you're playing with your kids or with your dogs or cats, and when you're cleaning the house, you can't always have your phone in your pocket or on yourself. So that exercise, that movement does not count. But with watch, I just set on play exercise, which is an open goal. So it just, you should not forget to press end when you actually are on the couch already, so it doesn't track like you're exercising when you're not, because you can cheat in this department if you want to. I would just set a play exercise, and I would like clean the house or the dishes, put the dishes in the dishwasher, or the washing, or play with dogs, any kind of activity that you do usually every day anyway, but because the phone was not on you, it didn't count all that, and the watch does. So for me, that's like a win-win situation for sure. Another lifestyle change that watch actually brought into my life was in my car. I like to listen to loud music. Music was not a problem. It was not too loud, so the noise levels did not kind of trigger. But I'm usually on the phone, of course, like not on the phone, but like the legal way, on the speakers. And I didn't realize that the speakers are actually too loud. And the first time I received a call, after like 10 seconds, the watch would buzz saying that noise is too loud and it can cause damage to my hearing if I continue at this loudness for the next half an hour. I never realized that, because in the car, you have all the noises and outside and the other cars and stuff, so you have usually your speakers set on quite loud, and I didn't realize how loud until the watch actually corrected me. So I put them down half a volume. I can still hear everything, maybe not as clear, but clear enough. I work from my car as well. I have a commute of almost an hour every day back and forth, and I do a lot of work in that hour, so I do a lot of business calls, and watch definitely alerted me that they were set too loud. Changes to my phone use. First of all, I have to say that my phone battery is actually lasting much longer now, because we all set different music tones for different people. So if the phone is in another room or in our bag, we know if it's like our husband's calling or our mom's and we have to pick up right away, or if it's like somebody else and they can wait a few minutes so we can have time to answer the phone at a more convenient moment. And now all that is gone. I just keep my phone on silent, because my watch is telling me all the time who's calling me. And what's even more important, my watch is telling me all the time who is sending me messages. Because like I said before, with music tones and stuff like that, we know by either different sounds or different songs who is calling. But with messages, it's slightly more trickier. You can still set different tones for different messages, but who will remember all those different beeps? It's much more difficult to separate them than, of course, different songs. So for messages, I would have a problem, especially at home, because I have my Apple dock in the kitchen, and I would put my phone on the dock when I got home, and it would be there. So I would know by music who's calling me, if I have to rush to the phone, or I can call back later. But with messages, I had no idea. I just heard that a message or WhatsApp or DM or whatever appeared, and I would have to go to my phone to check if it's something urgent or if it's something that I have to respond and reply right away or not. And this is again what watch saves me time and walking back and forth, because I can see instantly who is sending me messages, and I can decide if this is something I have to reply right now or it can wait a while. Another good reason to have a watch is because then your phone is always in your bag. I mean, I always hated phones on the tables, especially at restaurants, but if it's like a business lunch or business meeting, you kind of do need your phone close to you, because you might get an important call, and because you don't have a watch, you don't know who's calling, so it can't just be in your bag. And that's another reason why I really like having Apple Watch. Let's talk apps. So from the ones that are already pre-installed, of course, the fitness app is amazing. All 3 rings I use all the time, and they definitely did made a change. And it's not just my feeling, the phone and the watch actually alerted me that there has been change in my steps, in my exercises during the last weeks since I actually got an Apple Watch. So it's definitely an improvement. And I do Pilates, I do exercise, I do walk a lot, but still it made an improvement. The apps that I find find the most useful apart from the fitness app is the weather, of course, the UV index. It's quite nice to just have it there on your watch, and you can just check if you applied enough sunscreen. If like the index is really high, maybe it's best to wear a hat or something to cover your face and not be exposed to sun too much. I really like heart rate. I never realized how much your heart rate changes while you're cleaning and doing just general things around your house, and this is what the watch keeps track of too. So this is very cool, and you can actually monitor if there are some weird changes with your heart rhythm, which I think it's definitely for the best, and I'm happy that the watch has this. So SE doesn't have the oxygen in your blood option, and it doesn't have temperature. This you will have to buy a series 7 or 8 or ultra for that, but in my experience I don't really need that. The app, I actually bought one app so far, and this is Things 3. I think you know about this app by now, everybody's talking about it, and for me this has been a life changer, because not of any other functionality, but just because of the memos that you can record. So I had it set here, and I just press plus, and I will just press record and say remind me to edit YouTube videos before Friday, and then I would say done, and it would just send it to my inbox, and I will check it on my phone later, and just all the ideas that I would have during the day and when I wouldn't be able to write them down, because I do have my Louis Vuitton agenda to writing ideas for YouTube, but during when I'm driving or you know, somewhere where I don't have it on me or I can't write, this is a lifesaver. So I definitely like this app a lot. And there's one parking app that I use here in Slovenia. I'm sure you have similar apps in your country as well, and I always hated that I was on my phone and I would say, oh, I have to stop because I have to set the parking. Now I can continue my chat and just set it on my watch, or you know, prolong it on my watch, or stop it on my watch. So it definitely, it's one of the things that I've really enjoyed, because I do park in like central areas a lot where I have to pay for parking, and it's much easier to just do it with your watch. Last but not least, especially from my point of view, this is one of the most important things, and that's accessories. It's gonna sound funny, but one of the reasons why, apart from not being a runner, why I didn't buy an Apple Watch for so long was because how it looks. It's bulky, and the straps that come with it, well, you know, nice, but they're like nothing special. I have like 4 or 5 different wristwatches that I swap around and change depending to what jewelry I wear, what style, if they're like more chunky or they're like more delicate. And with Apple Watch, you're stuck with one watch. You cannot change it around, but luckily you can change around the straps. So I ordered this in every possible color, but I didn't get Apple Original because this is way too expensive for what it is. I found them on Amazon. They're like for a few euros, few dollars. So I ordered all the colors they had, so I can actually change for different colors when I want to. And then I went all out on the special straps. This one that I'm wearing today is my favorite. It's kind of like a combination between Van Cleef kind of vibes and Louis Vuitton as well. And of course it's not, it was very, very cheap. It's actually quite well made. The only problem with this was that it was very long, and it took me a long time to shorten it, because there's like a tiny bar in between those joints, and it's quite difficult to get it on and off, but luckily you only need to do it once, and once it fits, you're done. So it's worth the hassle, and I think it's beautiful, and it's definitely one of my favorites. My second favorite is this Chanel inspired one. This one is real leather in between, and it's gold color. I actually ordered those in all hardwares they have. So I have silver coming, I have rose gold coming, and I ordered black on black as well. And you can see here how it looks, and this is definitely a big difference and a big improvement in my mind how an Apple Watch actually looks, and especially because I still like to wear bracelets with it. And if you think about it, just wearing this strap, as you saw in my earring piercing talk, it looks okay, but it's not, you know, we can do better, right? This one comes like this, and you just kind of pull on the chain here, and you can fasten it, and this one looks quite nice as well. The only problem with this one is that it's not as fixed as you would like it to be, which means that at certain periods during the day the watch might actually require a passcode, because it will have the feeling that you took it off the wrist. So I do of course play with my different faces as well. I have different faces from for different straps. This one, and then my favorite like Mickey Mouse, I would use it too, of course I will. But my generic face that I would use most of the time would be this one. Here I have like time and the date, and then I have the weather, I have my Things 3 app to record, I have my rings, and then I have my heart rate, which is now, let me see, it should be quite low because I'm not that excited, but it's actually 76, which is perfect. Thank you very much, Apple Watch. If you just want to use Apple Watch for similar reasons that myself, then SE is more than enough. You really do not need to buy the more expensive versions. But if you're looking to get the best of the best, if you are running and hiking and you need your oxygen measures and you want better material so it's more durable, then you're gonna have to reach out for the higher end versions. But for me, and I would guess for most of us, SE is more than enough. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.